Dear Mom and Dad, I've been at a sleepaway camp for almost 3 weeks. And I'm getting very scared.
Welcome to Sleepaway Camp. Someone is watching you.
Hey, Mama, Reba!
Someone is waiting for you. Someone wants to scare you to death. Sleepaway Camp. You won't be coming home.
Some tales are told, then soon forgotten. But a legend is forever. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Now, from the producers of A Nightmare on Elm Street, the real terror begins November 3rd.
Someone's having a party for the top 10, the senior class snobs. Before they get to celebrate, 6 of them will die in the most bizarre ways you'll ever see.
Virginia, don't go away. Come over here, Virginia.
It is up to you to determine whether you wish to subject yourself to fear, terror, and shock. Because of the bizarre nature of this birthday party, pray you're not invited.
They broke into the mall for the wildest all-night party of their lives.
You're dead meat.
But you're never alone. In the chopping mall.
What's that? Robot blood.
Shopping mall, where shopping costs you an arm and a leg.
I have seen the future of horror. His name is Clive Barker. Beyond any terror you have imagined. A nightmare.
No.
Unlike anything you have witnessed, is born. Because within these walls
The unholy is unleashed. Hellraiser, a film by Clive Barker.
We'll tear your soul apart.
The carnival's back in town with all your old favorites. The Ferris wheel, the Roundup, the Octopus, beautiful girls, the Spook House, bumper cars, and a special added attraction. It's got ghoulies, too. They walk, they talk, they crawl on their bellies like
reptiles. This place is better than Epcot Center.
ghoulies, too.
Really scary, mister.
Plunk carnival hard before they kill again. $1,000 to any man who brings me one alive.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the bathroom, ghoulies too. They'll get you in the end again. Ghoulies too.
Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason takes Manhattan. Now, New York has a new problem.
I told you he'd be happy that we remembered him.
This Christmas, Santa's going to make everyone happy. The grown-ups and the kids. Christmas evil. The non-believers.
Watch out!
And the screamers. And this Christmas, you better believe in Santa, or he'll slay you.
Merry Christmas, Frank.
Christmas Evil, the night he dropped in.
on Elm Street Part 3. Freddy's just around the corner.
Who is it?
If you enjoy
Who's there?
being really scared, if you're not afraid of the unknown, if you've found a friend in fear, then we have a friend for you.
Hi.
Samantha.
Come here, the police.
The director who unleashed Freddy in Nightmare on Elm Street, Wes Craven, now brings you his most frightening creation.
Get out of my house!
Hey, girl. She's killing people. Mom?
Sam?
Sam.
You're so cute.
Deadly friend. She can't live without you.
Here in this primitive river-bottom wilderness in southern Arkansas, along with deer, duck, crane, and beaver, lurks a creature that walks upright. Whether it is a man, a monster, or a myth, no one really knows. What we do know is the people around Fouke, Arkansas say they have seen such a creature nearly 250 times since 1954. And that this creature, whatever it is, emits one of the most terrifying sounds ever recorded. The Legend of Boggy Creek, rated G.
Greetings, my depraved friends. I am your spectromatic host with the most creepy, and welcome to Shudder Discord's 2021 Halloween Horror Movie Trivia! Thank you. Oh, you are too kind. Alright, enough of that. And if you don't stop right now, I will tear your organs out through your belly button in alphabetical order! Okay, that's much better. Anywho, welcome to this year's Spooktacular Trivia, where the winner gets a gift card to CavityColors.com, and the losers will be locked up in my dungeon for the rest of their lives. If you haven't already, just go to crowd.live on a web browser on your phone, laptop, tablet, PC, Mac, iPod, iPad, iMac, iTV, IBM, IMDb, or Web TV, and enter the code RHZIX, along with the name you use on Shudder Discord, and you're all set. It's easier than falling in love. So here's how the game works. I will ask you a question. You will use your device to answer that question. There are no penalties for wrong answers, but the longer it takes you to answer, the less points you will get. So be quick and accurate to win. There will be 8 rounds of 10 questions, and the grand finale of another 10 questions. We'll take a short intermission after round 4 to hide the bodies, clean the blood, and go grab a nice snack. So are you ready? I can't hear you. No, really, I can't hear you because I have no way of hearing you. Let's just get started. The category for our first round is crime scenes. These questions are all about the places in some of your favorite horror movies where killers get down to their bloody business. Questions will work a maximum of 100 points each. Let's go! So do you remember that old TV show Cheers about the bar where everybody knows your name? Well, substitute Britain for Boston and The Walking Dead for Staggering Drunks and tell me, what is the name of the pub where the crew decide to wait out the zombie apocalypse in Shaun of the Dead? Is it the Windsor, the Winchester, the Winston, or the Weston? Co-stars Simon Pegg and Nick Frost came up with the idea of a bar being the perfect place to hole up during a zombie apocalypse at a watering hole called The Shepherds, which inspired the Winchester in the film. Alright, if you know this one, sing along with me. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm spell. Oh, I think that's a little out of my range. But this one isn't. What would you find 15 miles east of Fairville, California, and 23 miles west of Hitchcock, California, on Old Highway 10, a forgotten stretch of highway off Interstate 10 between Los Angeles and Phoenix? Is it Fred's Oasis, the Museum of Monsters and Madmen, the Bates Motel, or the Bronson Caves? Who put? Like the song, Norman and his mother made sure you could check out anytime you want, but you would never leave. But hey, at least they'd let you have a nice hot shower. Ever see one of those mob movies where a wise guy gets put into a witness protection program where they change his name to hide his past indiscretions? Well, a horror movie one-upped this trope and did it for an entire geographical area. In Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, what was the town of Crystal Lake renamed to by its citizens in order to separate it from the murders that occurred there? Is it Forest Lake, Forest Glen, Forest Green, or Forest Hills? And the answer is... And now I kind of want to see Jason as an undead wise guy who talk like this. Hey, what's the matter with you dope-smoking, sex-crazed camp counselors? Come here so I can put this axe in your head, capiche? How you doing? Malls may be dying off in the 2010s, but there was a wonderful period in history where masses of human flesh would wander aimlessly from store to store in search of something to eat, emitting a murmuring drone that could drive a normal person insane. There were also some zombies in some of them too. What was the name of the real-life mall where 1977's Dawn of the Dead was shot? Was it Monroeville, Oxford Valley, Menlo Park, or King of Prussia? And the answer is... Oxford Valley and King of Prussia are just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Menlo Park is in northern New Jersey, and Monroeville is just east of Pittsburgh, where George Romero shot many of his early films. Planets are a very funny thing. You've got Pluto, which nobody seems to agree on, and then you have Uranus, which... well, that just explains itself, doesn't it? But tell me, in Alien, what was the name of the celestial body where humans first encountered the exomorphs? Is it Fury 161, Origay 6, Calpamos, or LV-426? LV-426, later known as Acheron, is one of Calpamos' moons and where the Nostromo investigated a mysterious signal. Spoiler alert, it didn't turn out too well for them. So you think you can dance? Well, you probably need more training if you want to be the best. And I know just the place for you. But be warned, the instructors can be a little witchy. What is the name of the dance academy in the original 1977 version of Suspiria? Is it Tan's Dance Academy, Marcos Dance Academy, Argento Academy of Dance, or Dance Academy de Blanc? In the 2018 remake, the school is called the Marcos Dance Academy. However, in the original, it was known as the Tan's Dance Academy. Either way, the Susies probably should have stuck with Fred Astaire. It's tough being a cannibal. Your tastes aren't easily understood and nobody wants to lend you an ear. Get it? Lend you an ear? An ear! Oh, never mind. In the beginning of Silence of the Lambs, Dr. Hannibal Lecter was a resident of the blank State Hospital for the Criminally Insane. Was it Annapolis, Baltimore, Washington, or Maryland? Put. Unfortunately for Dr. Lecter, I don't think they served his gruel with fava beans or a nice Chianti, though I've heard the other patients there make a toilet Merlot that was quite spectacular. You may have heard of Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, and Boogertown, North Carolina, but tell me this. In which ironically named Nevada hamlet does the Tremor series take place? Is it Perfection, Friendly, Charming, or Serenity? And the answer is... Now, I know that people have different ideas of perfect, but I don't think that anybody had a place where giant underground worms maul people and property in mind when they thought of perfection. But hey, who am I to judge? I live in a coffin. There are a lot of masters in horror. The Wish Master, the Puppet Master. But how about the Stairmaster? Is that one taken already? No? Anyone? On the real-life corner of Prospect Street Northwest and 36th Street Northwest in Georgetown, Washington, D.C., you will find a set of outdoor stairs that played an infamous role in the climax of this horror classic. Is it Carrie, Salem's Lot, Rosemary's Baby, or The Exorcist? And the answer? This is why music stores have a no stairway sign. They're just trying to save lives. New York? Amateurs. Las Vegas? Charlatans. New Orleans? Pretenders. They've all got nothing on one town in California. This murder capital of the world was home to the murders of 28 people between 1971 and 1973, and served as a fictionalized version of itself in 1987's The Lost Boys. Was it Santa Monica, Santa Cruz, Venice Beach, or Hermano Beach? Santa Cruz inspired Santa Carla in the film. Fun fact, Santa Carla was also the half-naked, hips-gyrating, saxophone-slinging, oil-glistening lead singer capital of the world for some time as well. The 80s were one hell of a ride, man. And that's going to do it for our first round. Let's take a look at the scoreboard on your devices. Those are some impressive scores so far, but let's see how you do with the next round. The category for this round will be the devil's in the details. It's time to get specific and see how well you remember some of the little things in your favorite horror movies. Let's take a swing. I know a video game that some of you might enjoy. The graphics, the animations, the gameplay, they're all pretty killer. In 2006's Stay Alive, what was the name of the possessed video game that kills its players? Was it Bathory's Tower, Demonic, Eternal, or Stay Alive? Who came up with... Now I know what you're thinking. Preachy, you tricked me. Unless you got it right, in which case, good for you. Doug Bradley is most famous for playing Pinhead in the first 8 Hellraiser movies. But can you tell me, what is Doug Bradley credited as in the original Hellraiser? Is it Pinhead, Lead Cenobite, the Cold Man, or the Hell Priest? You put? Did Creasy trick you again? Oh, that rogue. He's so much fun. Why is he talking in the third person? Some answers we'll never know. Unlike this next one. Everybody knows Spinal Tap from This Is Spinal Tap and the Black Roses from, well, Black Roses. But can you tell me, what is the name of the musical group who are abducted by the Devil's Rejects? Is it Banjo and Sullivan, Bruce and Bongo, Monk and Canatella, or Tito and Tarantula? Even though they were a fictional band, Banjo and Sullivan still had a real-life record released containing such hits as I Don't Give a Truck, Lord Don't Let Me Die in a Cheap Motel, and the super romantic I'm at home getting hammered while she's out getting nailed. Nothing about getting your face removed in a junkyard, though. Pity. I want to play a game. Well, technically we already are. But that's also what Jigsaw would tell his victims before they were presented with their life or death challenges in the Saw series. In the original Saw, what time was the deadline for Dr. Gordon to kill Adam? Was it 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, or 8 o'clock? Who came up with? On an unrelated note, in The Dentist, Corbin Burnson murdered people at 2:30. Get it? 2:30? Tooth hurty? I cracked myself up. The term chud is used these days to describe somebody who is excessively unattractive and or stupid. But back in 1984, there was a more wholesome meaning to the word. What does the D in the acronym CHUD stand for? Is it defilers, demons, destroyers, or dwellers? In Chud, the titular creatures were classified as cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. On a side note, HUDs would be much better adaptation of the term as a descriptor these days, because cannibalism is not really in fashion so much anymore. Hello? Hey you, wake up. I see you there nodding off. Don't make me sing for you again. Crawl out of the sunken place and give me an answer to this one. In the movie Get Out, what cereal does Rose infamously eat separately from her milk? Is it Cocoa Puffs, Fruit Loops, Honey Nut Cheerios, or Trix? Besides the racial analogy of keeping white milk untainted by color, a Fruit Loop is also slang for a crazy person, which definitely applied to Rose. Unless you consider luring your boyfriends to your parents' creepy neighborhood in order to be possessed by old white people to be something sane people do. Now that I'm a super successful game show host, I've been thinking about getting some business cards to get the word out there. Do you think it's too late to get that Jeopardy gig? In American Psycho, whose business card is described as eggshell with Romalian type? Is it David Van Patten, Patrick Bateman, Paul Allen, or Timothy Bryce? And the answer is... Patrick Bateman's cards were bone with Cillian Rail. Timothy Bryce's were raised lettering, pale Nimbus white. and Paul Allen's featured subtle coloring, tasteful thickness, and oh my god, it even had a watermark. The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. But tell me, what is the third rule of Zombieland? Is it beware of bathrooms, double tap, seat belts, or travel light? Double tap, seatbelts, and travel light were rules 2, 4, and 7, respectively. Now, if only there were a rule for not waiting 10 years between sequels. There's lots of spooky stuff on TV in the middle of the night, or at least there was back in the day. Sometimes you'd even see things that weren't meant to be seen by normal people, like reruns of Mama's Family. But tell me, in Videodrome, Max Wren is the president of a UHF television station with these call letters. Were they WPIXL TV, WJM TV, CIVIC TV, or KBEX TV? That was CIVIC TV, Civic TV, Channel 83, Cable 12, the one you take to bed with you. Long live the new flesh! Being a killer in a slasher film doesn't quite pay the bills. For example, Freddy Krueger spent his days laboring as a janitor, and Captain Spaulding ran a gas station / fried chicken stand / museum of death. In Leprechaun, what was the leprechaun's occupation back in Ireland? Was it a baker, butcher, cobbler, or cook? And that career choice was... While shoe repair isn't as popular as it used to be, at least it was a more honest living than massacring people in search of a pot of gold. Or was it? And that will bring the second round to a close. Hopefully we're not getting too hard for you just yet. That will come later. For now, let's take a look at those scores. It's still anybody's game, and we have a lot more where that came from. Let's keep going. This category concerns maestros of the macabre. One of these things is not like the others. For these questions, I will give you the name of a director and 4 film titles. I want you to choose the one that the person did not direct. I repeat, did not direct. Don't say I didn't tell you. James Wan. Is it Annabelle, The Conjuring, Dead Silence, or Malignant? While James Wan did in fact produce Annabelle, it was actually directed by John R. Leonetti. Don Coscarelli. Is it Bubba Hotep, John Dies at the End, Phantasm, or Puppet Master? Puppet Master was directed by David Schmoller in 1989. Bubba Hotep featured Bruce, though, and that goes a long way. George A. Romero. Would it be Martin, Monkey Shines, The Dark Half, or The Return of the Living Dead? While Romero directed a lot of movies about the dead, living or otherwise, Return was a Dan O'Bannon film. Stuart Gordon. Was it Dolls, Near Dark, Reanimator, or The Pit and the Pendulum? Near Dark was actually Catherine Bigelow's first film. She would go on to become the first woman to win the Best Director Oscar for 2009's The Hurt Locker. Hideo Nakata. Is it Dark Water, Don't Look Up, Ju-on the Grudge, or Ringu? The first theatrical Ju-on movie was helmed by Takashi Shimizu, although there were several direct-to-video installments of the franchise released earlier. John Carpenter. Was it In the Mouth of Madness, Prince of Darkness, The Mist, or Village of the Damned? While John Carpenter directed the similarly titled The Fog, Frank Darabont was in charge of The Mist. Wes Craven. Is it Vampire in Brooklyn, They, Shocker, or Deadly Friend? Wes Craven served as one of his executive producers and was his preventer, but Robin Harmon did the directing of the movie They. Karen Kusama. Was it Destroyer, Jennifer's Body, The Invitation, or The Perfection? Richard Shepard directed the Symphony of Violence and Revenge known as The Perfection. Mario Bava. Was it The Black Cat, Black Sunday, Kill Baby Kill, or A Bay of Blood? Lucio Fulci was the eye behind the camera for this Italian tale. David Cronenberg. Was it Pulse, Scanners, Shivers, or The Brood? Take your pick between the 1988, 2001, 2002, 2006, or 2010 movies named Pulse. Crony had nothing to do with any of them. And that will bring round 3 to an end. Let's take a look at those scores. It's time for our very first lightning round. Each question is worth double the points, and they will come at you a little faster than before. So get those answers in as fast as you can. The category is a little something I like to call Giallo or Giallo. I'm going to give you the title of something, and you're going to tell me if you think it's the name of a Giallo film or a song recorded by Metallica. If you think it's Giallo, pick A. If you think it's Metallica, pick B. And if you think it's both, pick C. Let's go! The thing that should not be. The Devil's Triangle. Phantom of Death. Die, die, my darling. Jump in the fire. Reflections in Black. Creeping Death. The Bloodstained Shadow. Crash Course in Brain Surgery. Delirium. That's it for the round 4 and the first half of our competition. Let's take a look at those beautiful hard-earned scores. Looks like we have a bunch of victims, some survivors, and a few potential final girls out there. We're going to take a 5-minute break. Relax, get yourself some tea, perhaps a biscuit, a scone, or a turkey leg, and stay tuned for the second half of the 2021 Shudder Discord Halloween Horror Movie Trivia. Also, please enjoy this horror movie montage entitled The Faces of Evil by YouTuber Kitty Tade.
fire will rise behind those eyes. Black house will rock. Lost boys don't cry. Thou shalt not die. Lost boys don't cry. Temptation heat beats like a drum deep in your veins. I will not lie. Thou shalt not
Tried to make you immortal.
You tried to make me a killer!
You never grow old, Michael. You never die. But you must feed.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you took a minute to catch your breath because it's time for the second half. Questions are now worth 200 points each. Oh, and remember those nice colorful buttons that let you choose your answers? They died. From now on, you're going to have to type in your answers yourselves. And watch your spelling because it counts. Capitalization doesn't though, so feel free to go all lowercase or all capitalized if you so choose. You'll have 30 seconds to answer so it all balances out. Savvy? And speaking of changing things up, the category for round 5 is original titles. Sometimes movies are filmed under one title and released as another, either because of the creators changing their minds or as a ruse to keep leaks and rumors at bay. I'm going to give you the production or working title for a movie and the year it was released, and I want you to tell me the final name that movie was known as when it was released in theaters. For example, if I gave you Blue Harvest, you would submit Return of the Jedi. Sound good? Let's go! Sex Crime of the Century, 1972. That title was just not right because the release title was The Last House on the Left. Don't Open the Door, 1982. The answer was Slumber Party Massacre, although I would have gone with Don't Eat Pizza Off of a Dead Body. The Legend Lives, 1981. That was Madman. Don't really have anything else to say about that. Found Footage, 2012. The answer was Sinister. It kind of makes sense because even though the movie concerned finding footage, it wasn't actually shot in a found footage way. Codename Trixie, 1973. In the Crazies, an army plane crashed in a small town, infecting the water supply with a virus codenamed Trixie. The Birthmark, 1976. This one's pretty self-explanatory, as Damien had a birthmark that looked like 666 in The Omen. Monster Flick, 1968. first draft of Night of the Living Dead was known as Monster Flick, back when it involved adolescent aliens who come to Earth and have exploits. Batteries Not Included, 1988. The movie that would become Child's Play changed its working title from Batteries Not Included to avoid confusion from the similarly titled movie released a year earlier that involved little spaceships in an apartment building for the elderly. Now that's a tagline. Here Comes the Boogeyman, 2001. Jeepers Creepers was originally titled Here Comes the Boogeyman after the song that appears prominently inside the movie. The Astral, 2010. Insidious was originally known as the Astral, which is short for astral projection, which is a supernatural occurrence where the consciousness of somebody leaves their body while they're in a state of slumber or they're comatose. And that's going to do it for round 5. Let's check those delicious scores on your devices. Remember that song that went, back to life, back to reality? Well, this is where we're going with this round's category. Real life inspirations. This is about the stories in our world that had a hand in the creation of the nightmares that we've seen in the world of our movies. Here we go. Drug cartels are scary enough to be in horror movies on their own, but throw in human sacrifices and you've got something else entirely. This American-Mexican film was based on drug lord and human sacrifice cult leader Adolfo de Jesus Costanzo. The answer was Borderland. Despite the similar name, this movie did not involve running around with superpowers and collecting guns and armor with crazy names. The Australian outback has a surprising number of ways to end you. If you don't get helplessly lost in its massive desert, there are killer crocodiles, killer snakes, killer spiders, and killer people to contend with. This film is inspired by the separate true crimes of Ivan Milat and Bradley John Murdoch, who were both found guilty of murdering backpackers in outback Australia. Who put Wolf Creek. No wolves were harmed in the making of those films, but I'm pretty sure that the humans couldn't say the same. The bond between twins is said to be nearly psychic in certain relationships. However, they can also be nearly psychotic. This psychosexual thriller was inspired by the lives of twin gynecologists Stuart and Cyril Marcus. Jeremy Irons played Doctors Beverly and Elliot Mansell in this David Cronenberg Mindbender. Sometimes the house you live in is the real villain of your own personal horror movie. The real-life Lutz family moved out of their new house after just 28 days, citing strange odors, sounds, gelatinous drops, and other terrifying phenomena, inspiring this classic. Who put the Amityville Horror. Real life could never even hope to approach the scariness of the low quality of the many sequels that followed. Sometimes you just need to get away. Be sure you don't end up at a hotel worse than that Amityville house. The Stanley Hotel in Colorado, which serves as the inspiration for the location in this film, has had numerous occurrences of paranormal sightings reported by its guests. That answer, of course, is The Shining. The room rates are reasonable, but if you want somebody to bust down your bathroom door with an axe, it's going to cost you a little extra. Where's Robert Stack when you need him? If Unsolved Mysteries was around the 40s, they might have been able to solve this one. Both the original and the remake of this film are based on the unsolved Texarkana Moonlight Murders of 1946, when a phantom killer murdered 5 people over 10 weeks. Who wrote The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Suspects included a German prisoner of war, a victim of unwanted hypnotism, and some guy named Duty Tennyson. And that's no duty. Imagine escaping the horrors of the regime under Pol Pot, only to have this happen to you. The director of this film was inspired by the story of a Cambodian refugee who had recurring dreams of being chased by something evil, culminating in their real-life death. While the idea for the story of A Nightmare on Elm Street came from a real-life tale, the idea of Freddy Krueger was completely made up by director Wes Craven. Remember that question earlier about perfection, the town where giant worms came out and terrorized the townspeople? Richard Gere stars in this movie based on John Keel's investigation in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where there have been sightings of an unusual creature and other unexplained phenomena. That would be the Mothman prophecies. Somehow, I don't think this was the side of West Virginia John Denver was singing about in Rocky Mountain High. You know, say what you will about cannibals, but they have a lot of heart, and lungs, and livers, and arms, and legs, and feet. This Guy Pearce film about cannibals in 1840s California was loosely based on both the Donner Party and the Colorado cannibal Alfred Packer. The film was ravenous. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be hanging out with anyone with the nickname the Colorado Cannibal if I valued my life. You know the old tagline, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water? Well, don't stay too long because you might miss your ride home. This 2003 movie is based on the disappearance of American tourists Tom and Eileen Lonergan, who were left behind on a scuba diving expedition off the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. The answer was open water. There's that Australia again, just going around killing people. Well done, everyone. That's the end of the round. Let's take another look at those scores. Time for round 7. There's an old saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, in horror, a picture is worth 1,000 screams. I'm going to show you a single frame of a film, and I want you to tell me what it comes from. I'd say that there are no wrong answers, but there are plenty of them, so get these right. Shine your headlight on this one. Who wrote Christine? Get on board with this one. answer was Final Destination. Careful, sometimes the clues look back at you. Hope you got Creepshow. What could be hiding in this next picture? That was Halloween, of course. Test your vision on this clue. This is us. Get it? This is us? Make sure you don't have beer goggles on when you look at this one. That was From Dusk Till Dawn. Get on your tippy toes for this one. That was from The Ring. Put away your training manual and check a look at this one. Who guessed The Cabin in the Woods? Extra, extra, it's your next picture. Resident Evil, everyone. Put your coldest of stares on this picture. thing was, it was the thing. And we're done with that round. Let's look at those devices and check out the scores. It's time for round 8, which is our second and final lightning round. Point values are again doubled, but you only have 20 seconds to answer each prompt. This category is all about final girls. I will give you the name of a character, and I want you to tell me the movie that they were the final girl in, or one of the final girls in. It's still anybody's game, so let's begin. Gale Weathers. Evelyn Abbott. Erin Hansen. Grace Ladon. Sarah Carter. Valley Hardesty. Natalie Simon. Mary Beth Dunstan. Elena Maxwell. Gelfman. that's the end of the second half. Let's see who's on top before we head into the grand finale. Well, we're here at last. This is the blood-soaked finale, where we find out which one of you really has too much time on your hands. Is the most knowledgeable horror fan out there. At least today, and among these people, and in terms of specific questions, and luckiest on the ones you didn't know. So yeah, the best. Your category for this finale is drive-in totals. I'm going to show and read to you the Joe Bob drive-in totals for each movie. If you don't know what a Joe Bob drive-in total is, then what are you even doing here? Just kidding. For the uninformed, on his various horror hosting shows, Joe Bob Briggs assigns drive-in totals before each movie he presents to tell you the body counts and other fun descriptors of the things that happen during the movie. When you think you know the movie being described, type it in, because the clock will be ticking as soon as the clue begins. Each question is worth a maximum of a whopping 500 points. Sounds easy enough? Then let's go! 29 dead bodies, 2 fistfights, 1 motor vehicle chase, 1 brawl, 1 rabid junkie dog, ground seepage goo tasting, exploding heads, exploding bodies, multiple exploding buildings, exploding Garrett Morris, goo burning, yellow-suited industrial worker sliced in half by an 18-wheeler, organized child abuse, bureau cat devoured by a canine, flaming motel room, food tossing, 1 sucker punch, infected attack bed, gratuitous bikini models, kung fu, and shaving cream fu. Eight dead bodies, 7 breasts, 1 dead cat, skinned, 1 extended chase scene, 1 motor vehicle crash, random skull paintings, abandoned toy room, dangling clown doll, chain strangling, forehead wall bashing, crypt destruction, casket cracking, eye chewing, spine stabbing, whip wielding, wine bottle bashing, hooker shackling, chambermaid bludgeoning, ear ripping, chain jerking, butcher knife to the forehead, sexual assault by claw, thumbs roll, breast roll, eye rolls, mirror foo, rooftop foo, parapet foo, face slap foo, manacle foo, and double baton foo. Dead bodies, 56 undead bodies, 1 werecat, 3 muck monsters, 1 fist fight, pulsating tube, knife to the forehead, random drunkenness, graveyard dancing, stair tumbling, exploding head, exploding grim reaper, 1 disembodied talking head, 1 scaly tentacled electric monster with exposed heart, 1 lizard creature attack with pottery hurling and fire poker stabbing, 1 fireball breathing hag, 1 face-eating tarantula, 1 Spider-Woman with projectile teeth, 1 brave emergent zombie horde, leg slashing, random hanging woman, head bashing crone, live burial, gratuitous mechanical toy, gratuitous clown zombie, heads roll, quicksand food, electrical cord food, pickaxe food, wine barrel food, cobweb food, sickle food, and acid food. $297 dead bodies, 10 breasts, face sewing, gut ripping, ear lopping, hard barking on the beach, slimy worm droppings, vicious gorilla bumper boat attack, face-eating rubber snake attack, howdy-coddy, crossbow to the groin, 12 unemployed actors set on fire. Exploding Jeep. Exploding boat. Exploding Cuban. Heads roll. Ears roll. Tongues roll. Gratuitous hymn singing. Gratuitous Mexican hat dance. Kung Fu. Poison dart food. Uzi food. Baby food. Outhouse food. Dead bodies, 4 breasts, face punching, face stabbing, neck stabbing, multiple lethal body stabbing, scissors through the hand, blood saw through the stomach, 1 heavy metal brawl, 1 brutal catfight, video blackmail, public aardvarking, multiple fist fights, 1 spitting match, dead body pissing, mace to the mouth, broken bottle to the neck, 1 2x4 beatdown, 1 multi-story death plunge, 1 2-on-1 torture session, 2x4 nailed to the back of the skull, bonsai tree consumption, hard drive hamper destruction, fully clothed aardvarking, voiceover food, security guard food, SWAT team food, golf club food, cocaine food, taser food, scissors food, gratuitous Steve Matthews Band discussion, gratuitous SWAT team psychologist negotiating. Dead bodies, 1 dead dog, 1 dead pet bird, 1 caged pig, no breasts, geezer on a hook, mumbling mutant voiceovers, hungry turkey buzzards, tarantula stomping, neck chewing, bloody choked bird consumption, barbecue daddy, baby stealing, axe to the back, cactus burning, 1 motor vehicle crash, grenade to the mouth, exploding pickup truck, exploding booby track mama, exploding trailer house, gratuitous Air Force fighter jet tourist buzzing, gratuitous obscene caller, gratuitous baby eating jokes, tire iron food, heart attack food, Achilles tendon food, rattlesnake food. Dead bodies, 1 dead bat, 2 breasts, 12 gallons of blood, and 83 on the vomit meter. 1 throat cutting, slow motion, ear to ear 3 times. Slow-mo crowbar body impalement. Fire poker to the kidney, stomach, and carotid artery. 1 self-decapitating bloody mannequin. Bloody operating table with body parts. Disembodied glowing eyes. 1-legged dolphin pig. Throat ripping. Multiple crying children. Extended rabbit bat attack with sharp scissory surgery. 2 heads rolling, hands rolling, underground meat locker, maggots in the throat, slime clopolar, lizard face genetic DNA creature attack, gratuitous Lucio Fulci in an acting role. Dead hogs, 1 dead kitten, multiple swamp noises, dozens of terrified hunting dogs, 3-toed footprints, hide ripping, orangutan theories, the start of teenage girls, creatures screaming, moaning, screeching, wailing, and roaring, gratuitous old coop turkey hunters, hermit food, shotgun food, features the line, let's all have a Coke, y'all want one, without any product placement deals whatsoever. dead bodies, 8 breasts, 1 dead Santa Claus, multiple bloody armpits, 2 riots, hazmat suit, red-coated assassins, 2 motor vehicle crashes with explosions and fire, porn music soundtrack, close-up skin graft surgery, vampiric post-surgical behavior, 1 new sexual armpit orifice, zombie truck driver, stabbing, froth mouth, mean blue psychos, rabbit psycho on subway, gratuitous porno movie theater sequence, head rolls, finger rolls, construction worker drill food, plastic surgery food, hot tub food, barbecue chicken food, shotgun food. Dead bodies, 1 sacrificial rite, bloody body painting, wrist slicing, eye stabbing, neck stabbing, blood gurgling, knife to the back, demon visions, extrasensory payphone, 1 ram skull, a dripping orifice, ominous night driving the cemetery, disgusting candy jar, disgusting hair in the shower, 8 jump scares, face smashing, giant butcher knife wielding, gratuitous D. Wallace, gratuitous lunar eclipse plot points, gratuitous pulsating red moon, gratuitous pulsating blue flame, head rolls, Sony Walkman food, pizza food, fix food, pentagram food, upchuck food. And the last answer ever, for most of you, is the House of the Devil. Alright, that's the end of the game. Let's check those devices and see who won it all. Congratulations to the big winner. You did it. You won a $100 gift card to CavityColors.com. The rest of you, I'm disappointed, but I understand. You just really wanted to be permanent residents in my dungeon. Perhaps I'll let you out next year to play the next installment of our little game. Perhaps. Until then, I am Preachy, and thank you all for playing the 2021 Shudder Discord Halloween Horror Movie Trivia. Good night, everybody!